Welcome to the Last Beer Show. What's up, Jason?
Hey, Wayne. How's it going, buddy?
Hi, buddy.
Good. Welcome to Tuesday.
Is it a Tuesday?
It's a Tuesday. It's a Tuesday, and we're living in
recording-
our own private Idaho.
We're recording on a Tuesday because
Because we live in Atlanta. That's where the players play.
It's when the bad boys come out.
That's right. Tuesday in the suburbs of Atlanta.
Did you just burp into the microphone?
Into the microphone. I did burp
Oh
under
my
my
gosh.
breath.
We're off to a mess.
Well,
a messy start already.
it might have something to do with that
Right.
gluten-free
Focus.
gluten-free beer that we had.
Oh, now, if you don't have something nice to say.
I'm just saying that it was very well carbonated.
It was well carbonated.
And so it does not surprise me that there would be burpage.
What
Low in calories, though, 200.
What have you gotten into lately?
Well, we had a big share at my house last Sunday.
Per the usual.
We had about 20, 25 people here, and we blitzed through a lot of really crazy stuff. I think we hit 75 to 80 cans and bottles of deliciousness. And then I attended a friend's share on Friday. We hit a bunch of really good stuff. Highlights included a bunch of stuff from the side project, a bunch of their eau de ferme, jammy. We hit some really good stuff from Bottle Logic, like Fundamental Observation.
Ooh, nice.
And we hit so much stuff, so much brewery stuff, so much Westbrook, the new Coconutty versions, both the vanilla and the maple.
Not familiar with those.
Which are incredibly good if you can get your hands on them. The secondary market on those is a little wacko right now, so if you're interested in them, I'd let that kind of simmer down a little bit. But they're incredibly delicious if and you can get your hands on them. And then we had some good mead from Geist in Tampa. Their cherry pie mead, which is just always a spectacular, just such a really cool thing. What they do with mead down there at Geist is something really special. And so that was definitely a highlight. And nice. Then yeah. What about you?
Not as quite adventurous as you, and probably not as voluminous, but I got into some fun stuff. Of course, some local favorites from, Cherry Street, Monday night. Cherry Street, I got the Colonel Juice Intergalactic. Mm-hmm. Very, very good. Yep. And new to the Georgia scene, a couple of Fontafloras that need a hug.
Yeah, I had that one the other night, actually. That's the one with blueberries?
Good.
Blackberries? Blackberries. I had it the other night at that same share. It was really, really good. Really... And what's really amazing is that Fontaflora is canning now, and you can buy these cans around the Southeast. Mm-hmm. So we just got Fontaflora distribution here in Georgia last week. Yep. And so we have readily available Fontaflora cans. If you're not familiar with Fontaflora, I'll give you a quick kind of primer. Fontaflora uses a lot of really interesting and a lot of kind of abnormal ingredients, things like carrots and beets, and they use a lot of forage stuff from around the highlands of North Carolina. They're up in Morganton, North Carolina, which is up near Asheville, and so they use a lot of foraged, farmed ingredients, also a lot of really interesting grains. So they do a lot of grisettes and a lot of saisons and a lot of that kind of stuff. So they're doing something that only a handful of breweries in the U.S. are actually doing. Yeah. One of the ones that comes to mind is Scratch Brewing, which is out of Illinois. Scratch Brewing. They themselves use a lot of interesting ingredients like hickory tree leaves, and nuts and things like that. And Fontaflora is definitely one of the forerunners in that style.
I mean, there's a difference between alternative grains and adjuncts.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, anybody can put cocoa nibs and vanilla in a beer, but to go out and actually forage elderflower and hibiscus and again, they're the first brewery that I ever saw use something like beets or carrots in a beer. It blew my mind.
As fermentable sugars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
works.
They're one of those breweries that's doing stuff with a lot of alternative ingredients that is adventurous. It's fun. So I got into several of theirs and a few other local favorites, and got to hit a couple of my local favorite establishments recently. But good times.
Yeah, I actually, on that note, I
did get that D9.
Yeah, the D9, the Trash Panda.
Trash Panda.
Which is an interesting beer.
It was far out.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah,
not going to be for everyone. And I wish it was a shorter pour. Like, I should have shared that bottle with someone at the bar. I shouldn't have tried to drink the whole thing, because by the end I was all tarted and s'moresed out.
Yeah,
it was intense.
I think you can have it.
It was good.
I had some friends from out of town, and we took them to a local favorite Wrecking Bar brew pub. And we had their barrel aged vanilla bovine Justice milk stout, which is incredibly good. Those guys are just absolutely crushing.
Nothing's fresher than a brew pub, man.
Yep, they do a great job,
honking straight off the line.
Yep.
So, you know what season it is? It is
beer season.
Stout season.
Oh yeah, well, it's always beer season.
The weather turns cold.
Yep.
You start looking up the dark beers, right? The porters,
absolutely.
And the stouts, some of the barrel aged things. Maybe there's some of the subtly smoked things. Palo Santo, different types of things. It's like these are the flavors of winter. These dark, sweet, rich.
Oh yeah.
You're not going to chug one in the sunshine in a hot summer day in the park.
I have to say, the other night, I don't do this very often because I don't actually drink a lot of beer during the week by myself, just because these shares are ridiculous.
Yeah.
And so I actually don't drink a lot of beers by myself at home, but I found myself the other night as the temperatures dropped pretty low, opening up a Prairie Vanilla Noir from 2016. And man, I am going to tell you, that was like a glass of heaven.
Yeah. And
it was a perfect temperature. It was a perfect temperature for drinking. It was just a little bit below room temperature. It was, the beer itself was like dessert. It was like vanilla, coffee, chocolate.
Yeah. Some of those really, really big stouts, like you get upwards of 13% and up. Sometimes they just need a year or two to pipe down.
Yeah. I agree. I think this one definitely benefited from some time. And I'll be honest, I've been pretty, I don't want to say I'm scared, because I can drink myself under the table, but I don't drink a lot of these bigger Prairie beers by myself, because
I've never met anyone that can drink themselves under the table.
I could probably drink myself under the table, but these barrel aged Prairie beers are usually somewhere around 13-14%.
I mean, I'll tackle one. It's a 12-ounce bottle. I'm not going to tackle a bomber,
right,
or a 750.
Yeah, like the
of
CVS.
A 13% beer by myself. Those will sit in the fridge until either a certain occasion or you've got two people to share it with.
Yeah,
because if you only have one, you are going to be warm, winter warm.
I did not hate myself after drinking that 12-ounce bottle of Prairie the other night.
Good for you.
I thought to myself, man, I don't do a lot of solo doming of beers around here, but I guess the cooler weather has made me itching for a really good stout.
Yeah, you get it in you, man. You're like, oh, cold weather's coming. I need
really good stouts.
So yeah, this time last year we were talking about the CBS drop.
Yep.
You can probably still get some of those bottles on shelves in some areas.
Yep, I've seen
and they're going to drop again soon. And it's interesting. We'll see. The value of those bottles has really plummeted. I think it's one of those cases where, and we've talked about this, where is a beer valuable because it's rare, or is it valuable because it's good, or is it rare because it's good? We've tossed and we've bantered that about.
Yep.
And I would say that I think CBS was wanted because it was rare. It's good. It's really good.
I will say,
and I like a subtle
good.
maple. It's really good, but I don't know if it's line up at.
And I definitely don't like this giant 750 format for that beer because I would perhaps drink some myself. I'm not going to open a whole 750 of it and try to drink it myself.
Yeah.
Like
I'm seeing there's a trend. It's just dropping now, but there's a trend of very small format barrel aged beers. So a few breweries have started canning barrel aged beers in 8.5 ounce.
Yes,
almost like those little fruitage cans that we got from Alex.
We had one here.
What's their name?
We had one.
They make Alexander.
Rodenbach. Right.
Yeah, I've had a couple.
We had the fruitage.
I like those.
But we had that little stubby can of stout here. Mm-hmm. We had one last month.
Did you say stubby or stubby?
Stubby.
Don't burp.
I'm sorry. This gluten-free mango tea beer. It's so.
You did was smell it.
No, I didn't. I sipped a little bit of it before I poured it out.
I took a sip.
I tried to be objective.
I said it was disgusting.
It tasted like paint.
All right. So I'm really encouraged by not only the accessibility, just because you can tackle it and be responsible and reasonable, right?
Yeah.
And you're not opening a large format and tearing it through an expensive bottle, like with a small crowd. I mean, it's nice to have the big bottle, but it's really for sharing to me.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you that in my honest opinion, one of the best stouts on the market, one of the best barrel-aged stouts on the market is from a little brewery in Ozark called Ozark Brewing. They make a beer called BDCS, which is bourbon double cream stout. And it is easily one of the top barrel-aged stouts in the country.
Easy.
And it comes in a can.
There's nothing wrong with cans.
No, that's what I mean. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it kind of, if you look down upon that stout because it came in a can and you didn't drink it, you'd be like, you'd be missing out.
You're missing out.
Because I'm telling you that
big time.
That stout blows away KBS and Bourbon County Stout every day, all day long. It's that good.
Yeah?
It's that
quite
good.
A statement.
I assure you, I've had it on multiple occasions. I had a whole 4-pack of it from this year.
This is not a paid sponsorship.
This is definitely not a paid sponsorship, but if you can get your hands on an Ozark BDCS, which I still have one left in my fridge I've found today, I would get one because you will not be disappointed.
It might not be there.
It will be there. We got to share this Friday.
I might grab on
and
it.
I'm gonna share it out.
So you mentioned Prairie.
I did mention Prairie.
I want to talk about that. We also, with some of these beers that are getting priced up.
Yep.
And there are extreme versions of it where it's rare, so the brewery knows that and they make you drink it on site. I think Westbrook does something like that. And they also charge good money for it. We've talked about what you got for Toppling Goliath beer last year and how that helped pay for a trip to Jamaica.
For my 15th anniversary.
Yeah. So that's how much money you can get in the secondary market. So breweries have gone at combating the secondary market values a couple of different ways. One is you can't leave with it. Another is they've started charging good money for it. And even, the example of Prairie charging $30 or $40 for a 4-pack, or you pay $10, $8 to $10, $12 for a single 12-ounce bottle, which, you're getting upwards of $1 an ounce. Even 22-ounce bottle of KBS, which goes for like $30, right?
Yep.
Now you're talking almost $2 an ounce, right?
Yep.
So Toppling Goliath, the KBBS, right?
So Toppling Goliath announced this year. And they've tried to figure out on multiple occasions. So I should just say, we just finished drinking Big Orange Cat's Is it Big Orange
We
Cat?
covered that. You played the song.
It's Big Orange Cat.
Fat Orange Cat.
Fat Orange Cat, living in our own private Idaho, which, if you don't know, is a B-52 song. Athens, Georgia's finest. This was a really good IPA. It's actually really good.
Fat Orange Cat makes good haze bombs.
Really, really good IPA, brewed in Boston, Massachusetts. And we just opened up a candy bar Junkie, which is from a brewery in Charlotte called Heist Brewing. And this Heist Brewing featured... Excuse me.
Whoa.
They launched 4 different versions of their brunch Junkie this year. I think vanilla, candy bar, coconut, and the regular brunch version, I think. And it's an oatmeal stout with coffee. We're drinking the candy bar version tonight. And
candy bar Junkie.
One thing that I noticed about this from the one that we had the other night was that it actually, and when you poured it, it made me think I'm not far off, but it's definitely more of a porter than a stout.
This?
Yeah, I mean, the way that the mouthfeel, the pour, the body of it, it's definitely...
It's more dark brown. It's not like thick, black,
it's definitely closer to a porter or a dark brown ale. It's still good. Don't get me wrong. It's still really tasty, but I wouldn't call it an oatmeal stout.
It tastes a lot like my new homebrew.
Yeah?
Called Yo-Yo Mama Porter.
Nice.
I wasn't sure about Yo Mama or Yo-Yo Ma.
Yeah.
It's kind of stuck in between.
I got it. Right. I liked it. No, we were talking about Toppling Goliath. And KBBS.
$100.
So they decided
12-ounce bottle.
Again, I won the lottery last year. And after I won the lottery, I read the chatter around KBBS after the release, and there were a lot of people that were grumbling about the fact that the secondary market had these 12-ounce bottles for $1,200, and there were a lot of people. Some people just simply butthurt that they didn't win the lottery and have their chance to sell it for $1,200. Then you had locals who were just sad, disappointed that they couldn't just buy it to drink themselves. Maybe they live near Decorah. Maybe they go to college there.
They can't access it.
They just can't access it. And so you had a situation where, you didn't really have very many people happy except the people that won the lottery and could turn around and sell their bottles.
They were all
for
very
$1,200.
happy.
So they decided that I remember seeing on Twitter last year. I remember Toppling Goliath actually tweeting that they thought that they may just go with taproom only in the next KBBS release. And their reasoning is people are bitching about it either way, and they're just like, screw it. You know what? We may just make it a taproom only release where you can buy the bottle and you can have to consume it on location.
Yeah.
That presents a lot of challenges for a lot of different reasons.
Yeah, how'd that go?
How did what go?
Taproom only.
Well, they didn't do it this year. But in my mind, would you fly whatever it takes to fly to Minneapolis and then get a rental car,
a few $100,
and drive 2.5 hours south from Minneapolis to Decorah, Iowa?
$100.
Would you do that for a chance at drinking KBBS? Because here's the thing, you don't have no idea when it will kick. And what if you spend half the day getting there and you get there and they're like, we just kicked, sorry, and you're like, womp womp. They're like, hey, but we got pseudo sue.
Wasn't it in larger format bottles?
No,
year?
It was not in
large. It was all 12-ounce
It was
bottles?
all 12-ounce bottles.
Got you.
Assassin is in a larger format bottle, in a bomber bottle. KBBS that I know of has always been in a 12-ounce bottle. And so it did come with a really cool packaging kit that had leather and wood and stuff, which is pretty amazing. But still, it's a 12-ounce bottle. So Toppling Goliath tweeted last year that they may just make it a taproom only thing. Well, they announced it, it's been maybe a few weeks ago now, maybe a month, that they were going to release it, available for sale in the tap room. It's I think it's ticketed event.
Yep.
It's a ticketed event, and you could buy one 12-ounce bottle for $100. Well, The neckbeards went crazy over this. They absolutely went nutso over this news because who gave them the authority to charge $100 for a 12-ounce bottle of beer? But see, Toppling Goliath isn't stupid. They know that same bottle is going to leave their brewery, and before it even gets open, before the wrapper gets open, it's going to turn around and be sold for $1,200
by a lot of people.
And what's to say that it's not fair for them to want to get something out of that?
Maybe they should have charged $600.
Maybe they should have charged $600. You know who does that? Westbrook does that. Westbrook's Mexican Cake Reserve sells in the brewery for $250 a bottle, I believe, and you have to drink it at the brewery consumption only.
I put a straw in it and take all day.
That's exactly what they make you do. And so Toppling Goliath is, again, trying to figure out what to do, and they did this ticketed bottle release, and again, the neckbeards and secondary fiends went crazy, and how dare you, and in my opinion,
you're cutting down their margins.
Yeah. In my opinion, on October 27th at 1:57 a.m., someone from Toppling Goliath tweets, "This may be the last time we bottle #KBBS." And I get it. I totally get it.
Hollow threat last year, though, so
we'll see. Totally get it, though. They're just like,
draft only.
F it. We can't win for losing. We can't please everybody. We actually we really like this beer, and we think it's a really good beer. It happens to be the top-ranked beer in the world. It happens to be the number one beer in the world, but I back to our original conversation. I think a lot of that ranking has to do with the fact that it's so exclusive that if you ever get your hands on it and drink it, you're rating that beer 5 out of 5. There's just no doubt.
You spent a lot of money on it.
If you spent $1,000 on it, you're not going to be like 3 caps, because you're not. Plus the pride of it and so much stuff wrapped up in it. So I think that
you got to save face.
The fact that it is the number one ranked beer in the world means that it will continue to be that way, because it will continue to be this elusive kind of Yeti kind of figure that lives in the woods and comes out every once in a while.
The only way to drop the value would be to make more.
Make more of it, which is what Founders did with CBS.
Exactly.
And now you can find CBS anywhere.
But the market's not nutso, and it's still great beer.
Around CBS.
CBS is great. Agree. I know. We started out, we said, is it great because it's rare, or is it rare because it's great? Is it expensive because it's rare? Like we didn't say it wasn't a good beer. We said it is a good beer.
Here's my thought on it.
Hop Slam's another one, and there are others like it.
If Toppling Goliath made more KBBS in smaller. I was going to say smaller format, because you can't get much smaller than a 12-ounce.
We just said you can get 8.5 cans.
You can, yeah, you can. But I'm saying if you made more and you put more into the market, I kind of wonder if that ranking would go from 5 to 4.5. To be honest.
So what?
Doesn't matter to me. I'm just saying.
Maybe make it more frequently.
So much of that ranking is tied up in its exclusivity, and they're not going to be able to please everybody with however they do it. If they make it tap room only, let's be.
I don't think you need. I don't know if we should ask them to go so far as to try and please everybody, because they're not pleasing anybody except for the people who try it and say, you know what, that's really good. I don't care what I paid.
What do you think of this beer while I'm on it? It reminds me of like a peanut butter porter.
It does have some subtle peanut butter. It's not as.
It tastes like
at first it was really sweet, baby and I thought it was kind of pastry-like, but it's
definitely more of a brown ale.
It's like a dark brown. If that's a thing, a dark brown ale? Because it's a little chocolatey, a little nutty.
It's super thin though.
A little thin.
It is good though. I do like it, and I think some of that probably has to do with a lot of the coffee used in it. Will definitely have some effect on the body of it for sure. I do get a lot of coffee in this one for sure. A lot of coffee.
You can get coffee taste without adding coffee, just with your grain base.
Yeah, but I'm glad they used the coffee that they used from Central Coffee in Charlotte, because it's it's great coffee and it adds a lot to this porter.
I think it's good. It's kind of like sweet and chocolatey, and I don't want to use the word. It's drinkable. It quenches a bit. It's good.
So, what do you think about? We talked about Prairie, and we talked about the fact that these bottles. I'm looking at a barrel aged bomb from a couple of years ago that I pulled out of my cellar, and these bottles go for anywhere from $10 to $12. I don't actually think that's a horrible price for these bottles. I mean,
they only make $3.
It's a barrel aged beer with adjuncts out the yazoo. This one's got
the cost when you're using a lot of adjuncts,
coffee, cocoa nibs, vanilla beans, and chilies.
When you have high ABV, right? Yep. You have to use a lot of grain to get there.
Yep.
More ingredients. It's more expensive, period. When you add a bunch of adjuncts, especially things like fruit that are very expensive and delicate to manage, you add a lot of cost to the beer. Yep. So I'm okay with paying a lot for beer. How much I pay is not related to the value I think it provides all the time, because my expectations change based on the quality of the product and my value for it. So I'm fine with paying a lot of money for the right beers, the right beverages that I like, because I know I'm getting what I like, or I enjoy the process of exploring. So I'll take a risk on a $10 can just because I'm curious, or I've heard good things about the brewery, or it's a flavor profile that I really like, or it's something that's trending I want to learn more about, right?
Yep.
So if it's sort of like a lactose heavy IPA, or if it is a stout with particular adjuncts in it, like cocoa or coffee, that just intrigued because that's your jam.
Yep.
Or if it's barrel aged and you like bourbon barrel aged and you find something that is a little more expensive, but that's your thing, then just do it. I'm not judgy on the brewery because I know they put more into it in order to make a great thing. Some of it is trendy. Maybe they're charging for some amount of perception. But if they have a good rep for making good pops, then that's fine. Yeah. I don't hate on them. Like I'm not even upset that Toppling Goliath wants $100 for a bottle. If you can get it, then it's worth it. Nobody complains that they spent $80 or $100 on a bottle of Opus One at a package store, right? A fine wine that costs $150 in a restaurant and $60 or $70 at a package store. It still only has about 4 or 5 glasses in it.
Well, I just read, I opened up the thread. There are 69 comments on the thread from this tweet from October 27th. And I'll be honest, a lot of the people that I'm reading comments from are mostly just, frustrated that they didn't get tickets. Some of them made allusions to the conspiracy that Toppling Goliath is just doing this to build up hype and to sell more whenever they do bring it back. And to that, I would say, if you had your chance to get your hands on a bottle this year, you probably wouldn't have said that.
They said plainly what their goal was to try and find a creative way to suppress the secondary market.
Yep.
There are not very many breweries that are tolerant of the secondary market. They don't like the secondary market. They can't control quality. They can't control the distribution path. So there's no guarantee that when you open it, it's going to be good, that it hasn't been heated up to high temps in a car or almost frozen or left out in for a long period of time at room temperature and not cellared in appropriate temperature, or they can't control the distribution chain, so they can't guarantee it's a good product and their brand is on the line.
Here's one of the other things that I think people are missing about this whole Toppling Goliath thing.
What is that, Jason?
I've been to Toppling Goliath in Decorah, Iowa.
I'm aware.
There is not a lot in Decorah, Iowa, And
except nice people.
Very nice people. I actually just read on here, somebody asked Toppling Goliath, what's the best part of living in Ohio? And they responded, most of the people. #genuine. The people are incredible there. And I had an amazing experience there at Cork and Courtyard or whatever the bottle share was there. Really, really well done. Toppling Goliath, the people at Toppling Goliath could not have been any nicer, friendlier, more helpful. One of the best brewery release experiences that I've had, bar none.
I got your back.
They were open early. They actually weren't supposed to open till 8. And, when it was 0 degrees or whatever it was out there, we were standing out there. They opened early so that folks could get in and get their bottles and get out. And I had my bottles and was out before my allotment time was supposed to even start. So they were incredibly friendly. The lines moved fast. I could not say enough about Toppling Goliath. What I will also say about them is that they're incredibly small. Their facility is not very big at all. So they can't make a ton.
15 barrel? 10 barrel?
I don't remember exactly what it is, but they are incredibly small.
I bet I can look that up on the internet.
I bet you can look it up on the internet. Their brewery is not very big at all.
Right.
So they're not making the kind of beer that a Modern Times
makes. They can't make more.
Or they can't make more than what they have. They just don't really have the space for doing it. And the other thing is these, barrel releases like this take up a lot of space that just sits for years at a time.
Space is money.
And space
Square
is money.
footage costs.
So I don't feel bad about what they did, and I don't feel bad about how they did it. I think
I'm fine with it.
They're trying to do the best that they can with what they have. And again, based on my experience of all of the Toppling Goliath people that I experienced on my visit to Decorah, they were all incredibly stand-up, top-notch people.
People need to just unwad their underpants.
Yep. Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? You don't have to worry about things that aren't inside your control. If it's not for you, it's not for you. It's fine.
Yep, exactly.
There's nothing wrong with it.
So when I see somebody complain about a $10, $12 bottle of Prairie, I think you must be out of your mind, because I would sit and sip on this beer for an hour at least, or 2. It's worth every bit of that $12
with a nipple on it.
Yeah, I will. I'm not going to chug it. That's for sure.
No, that's a bad idea.
It's definitely worth the 10, 12 bottles, $10 to $12.
I would agree. I buy one on occasion.
Let's do it now.
I have nothing in my.
Let's open up this one.
My glass is empty.
This is a 2016 barrel aged.
Is it cold?
It is.
Has it been chilled?
Room temperature.
It's room temperature?
Room temperature. So what's the proper temperature for drinking stouts?
The optimal temperature, I'm glad you asked. The optimal temperature for a stout would be 45 to 50 degrees.
Yep.
And whatever Celsius equivalent that is.
Yep.
I'm going to guess, what's that, about 30? No, 20.
I don't know, Celsius. Oh, look at the way this pours. Oh. Man, this looks good.
It is good. Ooh, but there's a caveat here.
Yes.
So if it's nitro, you want 40 to 45 degrees. It's about 5 degrees cooler.
Yep.
If it's nitro, and my guess is just because different gas, different carbonation.
Well, Jumping Jack bubbles. Flash, it's a gas.
So,
gas.
But now it sits in your refrigerator. Not everybody's got a fancy digital controlled room, or even specifically a small cooler that holds a specific temperature made for beer and wine. So if you keep it in a regular old refrigerator like me, which runs cooler, usually around 36, 38 degrees, then you can just let it sit unopened, but that can take a while. But sometimes I'll pour it, like I'll open it and pour it and just let it rest for 10, 15 minutes and then come back to it. And usually it's about right.
Yeah, I'll pull it.
I don't put a thermostat in it, like a little thermometer.
I just put my hands on it.
Little thermometer in it.
Is it close to room temperature?
Oh, it's 51, almost there. No, 51, that would be going down. So So this is a little bit about temperature, buddy.
Oh man,
what are your favorite characters?
This is drinking like dynamite, man. It's a barrel aged beer, but the heat of it has simmered into like a sweet creaminess. You get it?
Yeah,
almost.
Well, the hop bitterness is pretty much gone.
Yeah, and I should make note the artwork on here is by Colin Healy, which is Colin Healy is Chase Healy's brother. Chase Healy was the founder of Prairie, the original founder of Prairie before they sold to Krebs. Chase Healy is now the proprietor of American Solera in Tulsa, which is making some freaking dynamite beers, both naturally fermented beers and stouts again.
A lot of wild beers.
A lot of wild beers, which is kind of what he started American Solera while he was still doing Prairie as kind of like a side pet project to do some wild fermentation stuff that they weren't really doing with Prairie. And everything that I've had from them is incredibly good. And he started, Chase Healy created the recipe for Prairie Bomb, which is one of the best stouts on the market. And as such, I thought, man, I hope he really puts some stouts on the market as American Solera, and he has in the Dilemma series. So he's done Coconut Dilemma,
slow to make them.
Mocha Dilemma, and those stouts are equally phenomenal.
What are your favorite characteristics of a stout?
You know what I like in a stout? I like coffee and chocolate, and I like the depth of the mouthfeel of a good stout.
Because it's roasted malt, right? That's how you get the coffee and chocolate flavors.
Yep.
So to get upwards of 8, 10, 12%, like I mentioned earlier, you're using a lot of malt to get there. So it usually has like this thickness to it.
Does it taste sour to you at all?
No.
Maybe it's a sweetness. I get a little bit of tang out of it.
There's a trending phrase out in that is now a regular part of our lexicon.
Yes.
These days called pastry stout.
Pastry stouts.
What do you think makes a pastry stout?
So pastry stouts are just regular stouts loaded with adjuncts like vanilla beans. Loaded with adjuncts like vanilla bean and lactose.
Does it taste like pie?
Cocoa nibs and yeah, exactly. A lot of the desserty kind of things. Pastry stouts are also called dessert stouts. Angry Chair is one of the most well known in the pastry stout world. Those are also lovingly called diabetes stouts because they are incredibly sugary.
It's funny.
They're incredibly sugary. Matter of fact, I
don't like them when they're too sugary sweet. It's got to have something that bitters it up or dries it up a little bit. When they're just like solid sweetness. I had one a few weeks back from the Evil Twins, one of the Uber
Jesus series.
Quadruple, Jesus series, and it was so sweet. It was a drain pour. Maybe something was wrong with it because I've had a lot of them in that series, probably 10, and they're all really good. But this one surprised me with how sweet it was. I was like, oh, no, maybe next one, guys. I haven't stopped buying them because they have consistently been good.
Right.
But that one definitely let me down. So once in a while when they're too sweet, I'm like, nah, need some hops, need some bittering unit in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I like a good balance. Like that's when I have a stout that's super well balanced. That's the thing that blew me away with Trillium's 57, which is a coconut and vanilla stout that they did. That Trillium 57 stout is one of the top 2 stouts that I've had in my whole entire life. And the thing that makes it so perfect in every single way is that it is so incredibly balanced.
Yeah.
It's not too coconutty. It's not too vanilla-y. It's not too, like, if you have some of these Bottle Logic stouts, which I absolutely love the Bottle Logic stouts, fundamental summation, fundamental observation. If you have these fundamental observation or fundamental summation, they're incredibly heavy on the vanilla. And I actually really enjoy that. I'm not a huge vanilla fan, but in those stouts, I really love it. The fundamental summation is the fundamental observation with vanilla and coffee. I love it. But what I would say is that the Trillium 57 is so well balanced in coconut, vanilla. You get a lot of chocolate, a lot of kind of that sweet roasty,
right?
But it's not overly sweet. You still get the flavor of a traditional stout, which I actually had a couple weeks ago. I had just a regular stout,
a Guinness.
Yeah, like a Guinness, but it was just a regular. It was just a regular stout,
not a pastry stout.
I forgot how much I loved just a regular stout.
I had a Fremont Dark Star.
Oh man, that's an excellent stout.
Yeah, excellent. And there are a lot out there. I mean, stouts are consistently pretty good.
Yep.
You don't get too many that are just terrible. I think you get more terrible IPAs. I think IPA is a bigger crapshoot than stout. You can quote me on that.
You think that it's what?
A bigger crapshoot. Like get it, whether or not I think the distance between an average IPA and a great IPA is a bigger gap than an average stout and a great stout.
I agree with you there. I will totally agree with you. I think that there's a lot more room for error.
There are not a lot of stouts you buy that are hot garbage.
Mm-hmm,
there are some IPAs you buy that are hot garbage.
Because the primary things that make it a stout are the roasted grain.
Well, you can hide a lot of... you don't have to be as articulate with the recipe. You can hide a lot of things inside of all this smoked malt.
Right.
You can't do that in a Kolsch or Pilsner and in some of the lighter pale ales.
Or an IPA for that matter.
Yeah, even an IPA, you can hide a lot behind the hops. You can't hide as much as you can hide behind all this.
But I would say the hops make it and give you even more room for error. Because choosing the right hops,
That's what I'm saying, dog.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
All right, so.
But yeah, stouts.
Let's wrap this one up.
Pick yourself up a good stout.
Go get them.
Let us know what you like in the comments. Shoot us a tweet, or Instagram. Yeah, tweet us or comment on Instagram.
I'm trying to do a little bit more with the Instagram lately.
We want to give away some beers. I've got a lot of beers in my cellar.
Should I check and see if we have comments?
I want to give some stuff away.
Let me go to iTunes to see if we have any comments. Well, yeah.
Shoot.
We said we were going to give away beer.
We were going to give away beer. We should have given away this gluten-free mango tea beer from Wild, Ohio.
I got to move this to the front of the...
This is a steaming can of...
If there's a comment, we got to move this to the front of the show.
Do it.
Because we said at the front of the last show, if you leave a comment, we'll send you free beer.
Yeah.
Crap.
Gluten-free.
We didn't even remember. We didn't even look.
I remember. Mango tea beer.
Irresponsible.
Beer made without barley or malt, made with fermentable sugars and fruit juice.
The last beer show.
If you get your chance to drink this.
Hey, when you search the last beer show, we come up number 2.
Don't. Oh, yeah?
All right. Ratings. Reviews. We got another rating. We now have 7 ratings. We have
7 ratings.
6 5-star ratings and 1 4-star rating.
Yeah. Well, we love them all.
We love them all. And then a friend of our late friend Casey had left a comment back September of last year, right after we had worked with him and recorded with him.
Man,
that's the only comment we have.
I thought about that guy the other day.
Me too.
I hope he rests well. I really do. This world needs more people like Casey.
To some degree, there's some relief. Like, it couldn't have been an easy road to hoe either.
Yeah.
Even if he was handling it with class. So, I don't know. Like, he was loved and he had a good run. So,
yep.
Good for him in that regard. That's good. Not everybody even has that, right?
That's true.
So,
he definitely had a lot of people that really loved him and appreciated him.
So,
as we did.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So, we're gonna just shut this one down.
Shut it down.
You want an after party? You good? You got anything you want to share with the people?
I'm good.
Seriously though, I will send a free beer if you leave a comment.
Yeah, I will too.
I don't know if I'm breaking the iTunes store guidelines.
No,
with
we'll
that.
send you. No, we'll
so
send you a care package.
Hush. Yeah, care package.
We'll send you a care package full of care.
Is a donation to a good cause, charitable.
Yeah,
cause.
We'll send you a donation of care.
Your alcoholism.
Yeah.
We care for it.
Because we care for you.
All right. Thanks, buddy. Good night.
All right. See you next month, everybody. Thanks for your reviews.
Peace. If you have a question or something you would like us to discuss, drop us an email, sip@lastbeershow.com, or hit us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at The Last Beer Show. A reminder that we are proud members of the ABV Network. Go to abvnetwork.com to see all the amazing podcasts, or go to your podcast app of choice, search for something like The Last Beer Show, The Firewater Review, The Bourbon Daily, among others. And if you really want to have a good time, go to Instagram and follow the hashtag ABV Network Crew. There's always all kinds of stuff happening on there, and it's a lot of fun. So anyway, thanks for listening. Peace. Oh, wait. One more thing. Please do us a solid and go to iTunes, rate the show. We would be extremely grateful. Thank you very much. Thanks again for listening.